excited you're here. Today our episode is, if he's the pastor, then who am I? Also, hashtag, you want me to do what? Sometimes as a ministry wife, it can feel like a puzzle piece. You're trying to fit in. Where do I fit in this church? Where do I fit in ministry? And so today we're talking about puzzles. I thought it'd be kind of fun for us to give away this amazing puzzle. It's a 1,000-piece puzzle. This is taken off a photograph from our own Northwest Ministry Network associate team leader, Don Dietrich. He's now famous for a puzzle. I know, who knew? Did you know people could be famous? So I want to know who here has never, ever put together a 1,000-piece puzzle? Never. Everyone here's done a puzzle? Are you kidding? Sammy, have you ever done a puzzle? You need this because you're young, and this will help you to grow up and be a mature person. 1,000-piece puzzle! Woohoo! Just so you know, I don't do puzzles because they take time, and I'd rather go shopping. And shopping's a bit like a puzzle. You're trying to find the right thing. So I do puzzling in a different way. It costs a little bit more money. But I don't know about you, but when I started out in ministry, there were many times I felt like my role in ministry was, if no one else will do it, Debbie will. Don't you remember that? It's like, or maybe you're there, you're going, yeah, that's me this Sunday. I remember when we didn't have a choir director. My husband's like, well, you sing, you can do it. It was the worst 6 months of my life in ministry, really, because I wasn't gifted to do it. They knew it, I knew it, and the people listening knew it. So it really wasn't a great fit, but I did it because, we want to support our husbands. We want to be there for them. And when he said, we need someone, I'm like, okay, I'll do it. But so many times I felt like I was filling spaces that really didn't go along with my gifting. And so I really, as I went through ministry, really had to find out what exactly has God gifted me for. And personally, I feel every pastor's wife, you are gifted to walk alongside your husband in ministry, but you are uniquely gifted for something else. God has uniquely gifted you for something else. It might be in the church what you're doing, but it might be outside the church, but God has gifted you, and you have a specific place that only you can fulfill, a unique place. And so I just think it's important for us to encourage ministry wives to find that place where they can be all that God's called them to be. So today I have 3 expert guests who are on that journey in the midst of finding their exact place in ministry, and we're going to meet them now. Let's go over and meet my friends. Well, I want to introduce you to 3 amazing women that have unique places they have found in ministry alongside their husband. First of all, we have Leah Wall. Leah is on staff at a church with her husband. He's the creative arts pastor, and she has 3 small children that she takes care of at home. But Leah is passionate about women's ministry and reaching young moms. And if you ever watch Facebook and some of the events she puts on for these young moms, it's amazing. So, Leah, you do an amazing job at that. You really do. And then we have Karen Pakoda. Karen sent me her bio, and it was 22 pages long. And I'm like, she is perfect for this. You wouldn't believe. I cut it down, but she has, if you name it, she probably has done it. So I'm just going to let you know some things. Karen had a BA in elementary education. She's been a ministry wife for 37 years. She started at the age of 10. She is a licensed electrologist. So if you need some hair removed, ladies, after the show, she's going to take care of you. And she has lived abroad, and she can speak 2 languages, German and English. She lived abroad for 18 years, raised her children overseas. She has done voiceover work while she lived in Germany. She's currently with an acting and modeling agency. If that's been your dream, talk to her. She's a freelance film journalist. Are you guys starting to feel overwhelmed? If you name it, she's done it because she's taken these unique gifts God has given her and used them wherever she's gone. But in general, she says this: my goal is to work or volunteer in a position where my creativity and administrative skills contribute to the success of an organization with measurable achievement-oriented goals. That's like something I would put in like a paper to get a good grade. Yeah. Isn't that good? So she's going to talk a little bit about that with us. And then we have Bobby Croon.
Yes.
We are so glad to have her. She is a church planner, and her and her husband are church planners in the Seattle area at Risen Church. And she moved here with her mom back in 1970, got saved in 1997, and then just decided, why not? If I'm going to be a Christian, let's go all the way and be a pastor's wife.
Wow.
But she works at the church, and she is the administrative assistant for a food manufacturing company while doing many things in the church with their First Impressions team. So her one thing she said is she has a passion to serve people and loves to help with event planning, singing on the praise and worship team, and spending time with family and friends, which we all like to do, don't we?
Yeah. Yep.
Everyone shook their head yes, except for one person in the audience, and we are sorry for them. So, Leah,
Yes.
I want to talk to you.
Okay.
As a mom with small children being on staff at this larger church, how did you find your place in ministry?
Well, I grew up as a PK, and I kind of saw everything that my mom had to go through as a pastor's wife, and just the demands and expectations that are kind of placed on you, whether it's self-inflicted or by other people.
I like the word inflicted.
Yeah.
Self-inflicted, yes.
And actually, I always grew up saying I was not going to be in the ministry. I did not want to be a pastor's wife, but here I am.
And God said, okay, I have
Yes.
something to tell you. Yes.
Exactly. So, I serve in things that I necessarily wouldn't choose, but I do, like working with the kids and the toddlers and things like that.
Do you not like children?
I love them.
Okay, because you have three.
I have three,
Okay,
yes.
so.
But when you're in it and
Yeah,
you're
got
with them all the time, it's,
I
not,
got it.
it's not your favorite thing, but you do it. But most recently, I've been really involved with women's ministry and with Bible study, and I've found kind of my sweet spot, and I really love doing events and helping with just all of that fun stuff.
So your giftedness for right now in this season you're using in the church.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and one of the biggest questions being married to a musician I always get asked is if I'm musical, and I am not. And for a long time that was hard to accept and get over, because as a pastor's wife, it's almost always expected that you play the piano and you sing.
And you look good at conventions.
Yeah, right?
That's it, ladies. Those are the
Those
three
are
things.
the things.
Yeah.
And that's what my mom did, and that was what, you're just supposed to do. And I didn't do that. And it's taken a while to accept that and be okay with it. But yeah, I feel like that's not me.
I know one thing you mentioned to me, which I thought was an interesting thing. You had mentioned that your mom was in ministry and a lot of expectations was put on her, but she had a place. Mm-hmm. You said for you at a larger church, a staff member's wife,
Yes.
that there's not a lot of expectations on you. I mean, if you didn't show up, they might not know.
Right.
I mean, does anyone keep tabs
Right.
on you?
No.
Okay.
And it was, yeah.
But it's harder to find your place
It
than
is
you
harder.
said.
It is harder. I feel like I've been on staff at a couple different churches, and there's been churches where all the pastors' wives sit in the front row, and that's where you're expected to sit, and everyone knows who you are, and where some places the pastor's wife seems like she's the first lady, and it's kind of a prestigious role. And there's good and there's good and bad to that, but yeah,
I kind of like being the prestigious
Yeah.
one. Okay? No, just kidding.
it's good.
It gives you a place, so you
Yeah,
told
it
me.
gives you a place.
As
And-
where when you don't know, you said some people don't even know your husband's on full-time staff.
Right. Yeah. No. Most people are like, "Oh, that's a full-time job." I'm like, "Psst,
Yeah.
don't get me started.
Yeah.
Yeah. So even just finding a thing, trying to identify who I am by saying, "Well, I'm actually married to the music pastor." They don't know who I'm talking about, or they do know, and then suddenly you're important, and they'll talk to you. But other than that, yeah, it's different.
Yeah. Now you can look back and say it wasn't all bad.
Right. Yes.
but-
Definitely.
So Karen, you told me your mantra, and I love this. Her mantra is process, volunteerism, and seize the day of opportunity. Explain that to me. What you mean by that? That's kind of you said through life. That's what you've kind of done in Germany, at home, wherever you've been.
Well, my life, the things that happen in my life, it's always been a process. So I've never been one of these like people that are shocked into something, or shocked into a job, or shocked into a portion of life that you just are from one point to another. My life always takes some kind of process, and sometimes it's really long. And then my volunteerism, I think the Lord has just used my love for volunteerism to come into places inside and outside of the church where I can build relationships that allow me to just represent him. And then I'm just one of these people that, okay, carpe diem. I'm going to seize the day because I feel like God's given me that opportunity in a particular way that I better not mess it up. So I want to make him happy, and I want to just do the best I can. But it's been so fun.
Well, and you talked about, you had shared with me one time that you kind of started like, oh, I kind of like to write. It wasn't like you went into life. You know, I was not that type of person either. Some people have their whole life planned out at the age of 5. You know, I'm not kidding. My daughter at 5 said, I'm going to be a nurse. She's a nurse to this day. I think I was 25 and still trying to figure out what to do. I think my life has been a process. But you mentioned how you kind of always like to write. Well, and that's really developed into something where you've used it in many areas, in film and magazine and editing. And I'm just amazed by all that you've done. Are you just open to opportunities?
I am.
And you explained to me that one of the gifts that you have now, the reason you're involved in it is because it connects you with your children more.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, anything that connects us with our kids, we're going to do, right? Yeah. Unless it's exercise. I draw the line, exercise. But anything else we'll do, unless the exercise is shopping. But share a little bit about how you're using your gifts right now to connect with your kids.
So, when we lived overseas, I was a part of the American Women's Club over there, and they had the beginnings of a film group, which would mean we would go, and I joined this film group, we would go and watch films in German and then write in English. So we all wanted to keep up our English while we were in a foreign country. So my kids have watched me do this for years. And they were very involved in their school, in theater and music. And so while my life paralleled writing on film and being a film journalist, their life also paralleled in the industry but took on different ways. So like my daughter, she's desires to be an actress on the stage. My son, he is desiring to be in film. My son-in-law is a musician. And so our kids are following their own path, and my writing helps me understand their world because I have to write about their world. So we connect in that way, and I feel so honored and privileged that the Lord's just opened up those doors for us.
Well, Bobby, I wanted to ask you some questions because you are bivocational. You are amazing and work in the church, but you also hold down a full-time job. And I kind of understand that. For years, I worked part-time. I worked in banking because I like money. So I didn't take it if it was mine, but I did like it. But you know, for me, I found being in the marketplace was huge. And many times we can get so encased in the church that we don't really know anyone that doesn't know Christ. And so I know being in the marketplace or using our gifts where we're out in the community really helps. So explain to us a little bit about that for us. How does it work for you being bivocational and working out in the community, in the marketplace?
Well, I really wish I could take on Karen's one because it sounds so much more interesting. But no, I really think it's a blessing to be able to be bivocational because I kind of get the best of both worlds, being in the church, but also working in the marketplace. And it just gives me an opportunity to be able to just witness to people with my lifestyle and just, you know, I'm not a big theologian. I leave that job to my husband, but I do feel like if I'm living a life and showing characteristics of Christ that, you know, people that don't go to church,
you're right.
Being a Christian is like the only Bible they kind of see or read if they've never been in church or never read a Bible. And so I think having those attributes of Christ is a big win to be able to win people over. It's a segue when they see you living your life right for Christ. Well, maybe they don't know you're living your life for Christ. A lot of times it's the things that you do and they don't understand why you do those things. Why is she so nice? Why does she, you know, if you're not taking things from work like some people do. Why does she not do that? Why does she
I don't
not
take
gossip?
money. I don't take money. Remember, Bobby, I don't take money. Yeah.
She doesn't fall into gossiping with
Yeah.
people. She does, she. I can tell that there's something different about her, and I think that leads people into eventually coming to you and asking questions. If you live your life and lift up Christ. Being in the marketplace, we're around unsaved people most of the time, and that's pretty much what Jesus did. He was around unsaved people.
And Bobby, I love this because I know we have a lot of ministry wives that work. And a lot of them work because financially we need to work in our day and age. But if we could have this concept about it's not working to provide, but we're working because it puts us in the marketplace, what a great attitude that is.
It is.
And you might be the only Jesus they see, as they say.
Exactly.
Because a lot of people you work with may never come to church.
Right.
But they see you,
Right.
and it opens up that door.
It does.
I remember working in the bank, the one young girl asked me if she could ask me a question. One of the gals I was training, I said, sure. I'm like, she goes, can I just ask you, are you on drugs? And I was like, no. And I'm like, oh my word, what did I do? But she goes, well, you're always happy. She goes, even on a day where things aren't going right, you're happy. And that was that one little point, I thought, okay, God, I need to remember this. I am setting an example. I am being Jesus to these people.
Right.
And I just think it's great. I mean, I think, sure, a lot of times we have to work, but if you can really look at it as that you are touching people's lives,
Right.
it's an amazing thing.
Yeah.
And Bobby, have you ever had any resistance? Just sharing Jesus in the working place? I mean, has there ever been any struggles for you?
I just think there has been, and I think it's not so much maybe sharing the word of Jesus, but living out Jesus and standing on my convictions when it comes to Christ.
Awesome.
Yes, so.
Well, I just want to ask of the three of you, if there's a ministry wife out there right now that's struggling, finding her place, in a sentence or two, how would you encourage them about finding their special place in ministry?
I think just in every season, you are placed where you are for a reason, and whether it's working with young kids or leading the choir when you didn't feel qualified. I mean,
No, I wasn't qualified. It wasn't about feeling honey. When you're not qualified,
yes. That it is a season, and God has you there for a reason, and you will be placed eventually in your giftings or what you enjoy, and it's fun to be able to use the things that you enjoy and the things that you're good at within the church and with reaching other people and with friends. So I feel it on the other side of ministry and growing up in it, now being able to see like the good part, how you can be a happy pastor's wife.
yeah.
And
That's what we
enjoy
want. We
the-
want happy pastors' wives. Karen, anything you'd like to share?
Well, I was thinking about the whole puzzle piece idea that you were talking about, and I'm a believer of the fact that you are a pretty cool puzzle piece, each of us are, but we might just not be in the right puzzle. We might not be the piece for the right puzzle that's
really
before
good.
us.
That's really good.
And that puzzle's going to come around and you're just going to be the perfect fit.
Bobby, any last words from you that you'd like to encourage?
Yeah, I think just maybe first start with prayer, I think just
Yes.
asking God, where is it that he sees you? He's gifted you with these talents. And where does he want you to be? And then the other thing, if you're not sure where you belong, maybe ask friends, family, where do you see my gifting and calling? Because sometimes people see it before you do.
That's right. Yeah.
So,
Right.
yeah.
No, well, I
It's really
appreciate
good.
these ladies. I want you to know this crazy little thing in the middle. You probably always wonder. It's called the hat. We all wear a lot of different hats, don't we?
Yeah.
We all do, and it changes. And sometimes the hat fits real good and we like it, and other times it doesn't.
Yeah.
But I love what each one of you said, and I just thank you for really walking in your giftedness. And I feel like each one of us touch people's lives that no one else can.
Right.
And we need to know that many times it happens outside the church. And as we're just open to that and remember, church isn't a building. And just ask God to use our gifts wherever they are. So thank you. You three are amazing. And I appreciate you being here. Let's give them a hand. Okay, ladies. I have a fun activity we're going to do today because sometimes life is like a puzzle. We just hope everyone shows up and we find all the pieces, right? So I need 2 volunteers. Can I have you come up? And you come on up here, ladies. A couple of our ministry wives. So we found some really very difficult puzzles for you because we know that it's been a long day. And we have hidden these around, don't look, keep your eyes straight forward, around just in this little area here. And so we're going to give you time, and the first one that can complete her puzzle will win a prize. Are you ready? Set? Oh, my word, a question. Yes, what? Are you a detail person? Yeah, we're glad. That's okay. We like ministry wives that are detailed because they cover us that aren't. Okay.
Play fair and follow the rules. Do I have to do one at a time before I find them, or just like pick up a few and then put them in, or what does that look like for you?
I don't know that I even went that far in my mind. So that's a great idea. Let's say you can get as many as you want, however you need to do it to fill that place. Okay, so any more questions? Are you just happy to be here and know you're going to win something?
Counting.
Oh, you're counting. Oh, my word, these people are in it to win it. Okay, are you ready? Go! Let's see what they can do. Oh my word. What are they? They are looking, they are going for it. Whoa, these are hard. These are so difficult. These are the most difficult 1,000 piece puzzles I have ever seen. Oh no, well you need one more, she needs 3 more. Honey, that's not in, I don't know if you noticed that. It's only, oh, she's helping you out. Oh! Okay, she helped her out, but she only helped her out once she knew she was gonna win. Do you know that? Like, oh here, oh I have mine. No, but I do have a little gift for you, and I want you to know, because I'm that kind of person that I like to give gifts to everyone, even though you lost, I don't want you to be sad. So even though you're a loser, no. So, and here's a little necklace, and it says we all shine differently. And you know what? We do all shine differently. But I'm just excited that you guys were here and you got to be a part of our puzzle. And thank you. Thank you. Let's give them a hand. And now, ladies, I just have a little something I want to give away because some of you didn't get anything. I picked up 5 of some of my books that I just love, and I'm just going to give them away to people I like. Okay, I like you. Okay, I like you. Okay, I think you're cute. Okay, you're cute. Oh, you already got a prize. You don't get one. Okay, and let's go back here to the back, and you're really super cute. Thank you. Thanks, and you guys have a great day.